So let's talk about social media. It's everywhere, right? It's a massive part of our daily lives. But when does that connection cross a line? When does it go from being a fun way to pass the time to a real, genuine problem? That's what we're going to dig into.
I mean, come on, you know the feeling. You just pull out your phone to check one little thing, and then you look up, and an entire hour has just evaporated. We've all been there. But is that just a normal part of modern life, or could it be a sign of something more serious?
All right, so to really get into this, we have to start with the basics. What are we even talking about when we say problematic use? Let's get a clear definition.
Okay, here's the official take. The key words here are compulsion and negative consequences. This isn't just about using social media a lot. It's when that use becomes an urge you just can't control, even when you know it's hurting you. Maybe it's messing with your job, your relationships, or your mental health. It's actually classified as a behavioral disorder, and you'll see it shares a lot of traits with other addictions.
So now that we have the textbook definition, what does this actually look like in real life? How can you spot the warning signs, either in yourself or maybe in someone you care about?
And this is where it gets kind of wild. Researchers have found that the red flags for problematic social media use are strikingly similar to the classic signs of substance addiction. It's the same pattern of behavior, just a different substance, if you will.
Let's break these down. First up, mood swings. This is when you use social media as an escape hatch from real life. Then there's salience, which is a fancy word for when social media becomes the absolute most important thing in your life. You're always thinking about it. That leads to tolerance, needing to spend more and more time scrolling to get that same buzz. And if you try to stop, you get withdrawal, real feelings of anxiety or depression when you can't log on. Naturally, this causes conflict with friends and family, and often leads to relapse, where you fall right back into the same old pattern.
So you have to ask, is this just a failure of our own willpower? Or are we kind of being set up to fail? Let's pull back the curtain and look at how these platforms are actually built.
These features are no accident. They are incredibly clever tools designed to keep our eyeballs glued to the screen. Infinite scroll and autoplay videos, they get rid of any natural stopping point. Our brains hate leaving things unfinished, and these features exploit that. The personalized content makes the feed feel like it's ours, which taps into something called the endowment effect, this funny quirk where we value stuff more if we feel we own it. And the exposure effect is simple. The more you see something, the more you like it. The whole thing is supercharged by the humble like button, which gives us a tiny, unpredictable hit of dopamine that keeps us coming back for another fix. Right, and this all feeds into what experts call ludic loops. It sounds complex, but it's really not. Just think of a slot machine. You pull the lever, that's the uncertainty. You watch the wheels spin, that's the anticipation. And then you get the result, win or lose, that's the feedback. On your phone, it's pull down to refresh, wait a millisecond, and see what new posts you got. It's the exact same psychological hook that's been used in the gambling industry for decades.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's the perfect analogy. Social media can give you that quick, easy, satisfying hit of pleasure, for sure. But when it's your entire diet, day in and day out, it can be really, really bad for your long-term health.
Okay, so we understand the mechanism, but what's the actual damage here? What are the real, tangible consequences of all this, especially for teens and young adults? Take a look at this number for a second. 48%. Just let that sink in. What do you think that represents?
Well, according to the Pew Research Center, that's the percentage of young adults who report being online almost constantly. And it gets crazier. Look at the next bar. Add the 46% who are on multiple times a day, and you're looking at a staggering 94% of young adults who are basically logged on all the time.
And the fallout from this is serious. We're not just talking about wasted time. Studies have linked this constant connectivity to a higher risk of depression and self-harm. It throws the door wide open to cyberbullying, and it can even mess with our ability to think, shrinking our attention spans. Not to mention, the endless stream of perfectly curated, often fake, body images has been tied to a greater risk for eating disorders. And sometimes, the stakes are just unbelievably high. The tragic case of Molly Russell, a 14-year-old in the UK, brought this into heartbreaking focus. After she died, a coroner investigated and officially concluded that the algorithms that were feeding her harmful content were, in his words, not safe and had directly contributed to her death. Her case really became a turning point in the conversation about holding these platforms accountable.
So this all sounds pretty bleak, I know, but it's not hopeless. The question now is, what can we actually do about it? How can we start to take back control, both for ourselves and for society as a whole?
The good news is there's a multi-layered approach. It can start small, with self-help tools that are probably already on your phone, like setting app timers. For more serious cases, there's professional therapeutic support. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, has been shown to be really effective. And of course, for kids and teens, parents getting involved is absolutely crucial.
Now, when it comes to parents, there are really two main playbooks. On one hand, you have restrictive mediation. That's about setting hard rules and limits, like no phones at the dinner table. On the other hand, you have active mediation. This is more about having open conversations about safety, online citizenship, and what they're seeing. It's less about control and more about teaching them to think critically for themselves.
And at the end of the day, the research is pretty clear. Whichever strategy a parent leans into, the two keys to success are being consistent and, importantly, respecting your kid's growing need for autonomy. The real goal isn't just to control their screen time, it's to build their resilience so they can navigate the digital world safely on their own.
And beyond what we can do in our own homes, governments are finally starting to step in. In the UK, the Online Safety Bill puts the responsibility on the platforms themselves. In the US, the proposed SMART Act tries to ban specific addictive features, like infinite scroll. And California's Design Code Act is forcing companies to actually think about the well-being of kids when they design their product.
So all of this really boils down to one final critical question. We know these platforms are designed to hook us. We know the consequences can be devastating, but we also know that there are tools, both personal and political, to fight back. It leaves us with a question we should probably ask ourselves every single time we unlock our phones.